The death of the old self. We are in such an incredible time right now, with the end of some major cycles happening in the cosmos, aligned with many new beginnings. In the past several months, we've had many planets in retrograde, all simultaneously. What does this mean for you? Well, have you been mulling over and having thoughts come up from your past lately? This is a time for change. We're in such a critical yet wonderful time. In the past few months, I understood that we have had the capacity to self-identify as a whole new person if we wanted to, and that there were steps involved to doing so. This has been a really big undertaking, one that I became committed to. Now, I want to be clear that I don't believe we can ever abandon who we truly are. But I do think we can raise ourselves up into the highest and truest real essence of what we have been originally created to be, do, and have. For much of my life, I have been such a hard worker. It's in my chart. Work, work, work. There are other elements of struggle that I have experienced, and I wanted to abandon them all and create a whole new reality. I've come to a time where busy, tedious work disinterests me. I have full belief that struggle is optional and that we are all meant to live in a state of joy, that state is our natural state. So the only thing I felt focused on doing was to create a new self-identity, and for that to be always what is bringing me the most joy. To accelerate my desires to come to me sooner and to have my creative projects be completed sooner as well. And do you know what? This whole concept of being in joy, living in joy, is a promise from God and has been taught to me in a course in miracles. Quote, "Heaven is here, there is nowhere else. Heaven is now. There is no other time." That's from A Course in Miracles. What if our lives were a never-ending expansion of our highest joys? What if we got to experience more and more of these joys on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis? This is what I have been experiencing so much of lately, and it's all because I heeded the call to leave the past self behind, giving room for the new self to emerge. And it worked. This is not only happening to me, I hear. Have you been having dreams or a lot of memories of the past coming up for you to review? Have you been mulling these things over? Have you been thinking about major life decisions you made years ago, what it would have been like if you had made another decision instead? All of these things are part of what much of humanity has been going through in the last 4 to 6 months. We have 5 planets in retrograde, and it's affecting us all. What does this mean in the simplest of terms? Review, revise, revisit. Go back into the details and polish up or get at peace with the past. Phew, that's all I can say. What a journey it's been for me, one like never before. A huge part of the purpose of this reviewing and revisiting the past is to ask ourselves what we don't want to carry into our future. Are these habits or personality traits that you know need to be retired permanently? This is the time to do it. All of us have occasion to open our eyes suddenly, look around us, and realize a thing has happened, or a circumstance that we are in is something we've been living with for some time. We realize that this is a pattern for us, and although we may or may not know what its origins are, we can see it as clear as day, staring right at us. These are our patterns. We live under them as though hypnotized by their power, unbeknownst to us why they are there or what we can do about them. Are you staying up late at night, eating? Having the same relational patterns going on constantly, just with different people? Wondering where the next project, deal, or income will come from? Authority issues that manifest as the IRS, police officers, or attorneys? Are you having the same response to a familiar situation, just in a different form? Yes, that's a pattern that's gotten a hold of you. And we can decide, I don't want this anymore. I want you to know that this is entirely changeable. And with the energies we are in these days, it is most likely more malleable than it has ever been before. But you must participate in setting an intention and have the willingness to do the work. Here are some suggestions to start with. Number 1, realize you're in a pattern. You engage it, play in it, keep it alive. Until you decide otherwise, it will remain. Number 2, make a decision. I've had enough of this and I want something else instead. Number 3, creatively imagine the new self. You are the one who gets to decide what will be next for you, what will be the life you want to lead, and what will be the joys you will inhabit. You need to be sincere about all of these points. If your eyes are closed or you're glossing over things that clearly have been on repeat for you, they can't ever change. If the record is broken, you must take it off the record player and get a new record. I have been doing this work, otherwise I wouldn't be telling you that it's very possible. It has required my being fully present and aware of all that is in my reality. I looked at it. I observed it. I questioned whether this experience I was having was entirely necessary, or can we ditch it and have something else instead? I believe I started this process sometime in November, and it wasn't something I necessarily planned. I didn't really even see this coming so quickly. So I did some of the work initially and then let it go. I went about my life and business, which is for me a constant state of following my intuition on what to do from moment to moment. If it happens that you don't hear from me for a while, it's because I haven't been given the impulse to communicate with you, as other things got ahead in the lineup. So to start off, after noticing the first time that it was plain and clear that I was experiencing a pattern that was very familiar to me, and that I didn't want that pattern anymore, I took some time to stop and have a look at it for real. I sat down and took out a big, bright journal with heavy, good quality paper and got out my best pen. Then I started writing bullet points. 1, who is this old self that created this? And 2, who is the new self I want to create and live and be? This took a little time, but with some calming music and a few candles and some essential oil blends to inhale, it was wonderful time spent. I listed out all the old self items and then all the new self creations in response. It was very enjoyable, in fact, as soon after I got over the initial starting points. This is where we have normally just avoided the subject altogether and is the hardest to overcome. In comparison to the rewards this work has yielded so far, it is extraordinary how just a little focused exploration can bring in so many lasting results. We are all in the process of massive upgrades right now. All those retrograde planets are about to go direct. In fact, Mars stationed direct on January 12th, Mercury on January 18th, and we have a new supermoon in Aquarius on the 21st. All is new, new, new. If your old self hasn't been glaring at you in the past few months, I wonder if paying attention to your inner journey might not be a good idea. I find that if I don't, life can get pretty hairy in its attempts to get my attention to peer inside and see what's going on. It will make itself really obvious so that you can catch and participate in these waves of growth that are happening now. I'm not talking about all the work you've done already as having taken care of it all forever. We are being massively upgraded, and as we move along, we are continually needing to shed old skins in order to keep up with these wonderfully liberating changes and upgrades. Your life can be one of ease, one of constant joy and creativity, but your old self needs to be acknowledged for what it is and be let go with peace and love. It's time. It is beyond time. I hope this message has created inspiration within you to move forward and elevate higher than you've ever been before. It's going to be an incredible year, full of firsts, new beginnings, and a whole new world is being created that will be the catalyst for many more changes in the years to follow. I hope you will be part of this wave as well. This weekend, I'm off to the mountains to a wellness spa hotel to be on a writing retreat, and I'll be doing lots of inner reflection and want to set my intentions for this coming year. I'm also intending to receive all the new guidance and information Spirit would have me have. I'm so excited, and I can't wait. If you want to work with me this year and be a part of catapulting your own life into this new reality being created, I'll be ready to speak with you beginning next Tuesday. You can book an appointment to chat first at the link in the description. Much love and many blessings, Suzanne.